So I'm Jennifer Kaufman. I'm with the Victim Assistance Program at the State Attorney's Office. We're actually funded by the Hillsborough County BOCC, and we are established because victims have a right under Florida Statute 960. They have certain rights in the criminal justice system, as well as under our newly established Marsy's Law. So our program, the Victim Assistance Program, offers services to victims of crime. And those services can be anything from criminal justice support, so understanding the criminal justice process, answering questions they may have on the process. It could be information on their case, updates about the case status, escorts to court, helping them with victim impact statements, which are a document that are submitted to the court. At the sentencing of an offender, that gives the victim an opportunity to give comments about how this crime may have affected them and what sentence they'd like to see. Because a lot of times in those circumstances, the judges only get basic information, like the defendant's criminal history and the crime itself, and just a short synopsis of what happened. So this gives victims the opportunity to have their voice heard. We also give referrals for different types of services, whether that be medical treatment, counseling, financial assistance. We also assist with injunctions for protection. So specifically in cases like domestic violence, there are victims that want those offenders to stay away from them because of safety concerns. So we help them in filing for those petitions, which are basically orders basically saying the offender can't have contact with them. It's very similar, a lot of people know it more commonly as a restraining order. So we help them fill out those petitions because they are kind of complicated, so that they can apply for those injunctions to make sure that those offenders stay away from them. And lastly, as a result of victimization, sometimes victims or survivors may need assistance in other ways. So the state of Florida has a program through the Attorney General's office called Crime Victim Compensation. And so we help victims apply for that program to receive those benefits. And they would help mitigate some of those expenses that a victim may incur because of their victimization. Victims or survivors can contact our office in order to get assistance by either going to our website. We're located on the State Attorney's Office website, which is www.sao13th.com. There should be a victim services section that they can click on. Or they can also call our main number to our receptionist. They'll be in touch with a counselor specialist. That number is 813-272-6472. The Attorney General's Office Crime Victim Compensation Program is a statewide financial assistance program to victims or survivors of crime. The different benefits they offer would be medical expense. So a lot of times victims or survivors are injured as a result of the crime and they have to seek medical treatment, so they provide assistance with paying those bills. Lost wages, so if a victim was unable to work as a result of their injury, then they would also help with that income that they wouldn't have gotten because they weren't able to go to work. Disability benefit if a victim is disabled as a result of the crime. Funeral benefits if the victim is unfortunately killed as a result of the crime. Loss of support for minors if their main source of income or support is no longer able to support them, whether that be due to injury or death. Property loss benefit for the elderly or meaning over 60 or disabled individuals. Relocation for victims of domestic violence, sexual violence, or human trafficking, so to help them relocate to escape their situation. And they also offer an emergency responder death benefit. So if an emergency responder is killed as a result of a crime, then they receive a basic one-time benefit to help mitigate some of the expenses or loss and support that family may have suffered. So the process to apply for crime victim compensation is a fairly simple process. It's one application that a victim would fill out or survivor would fill out. So it's a fairly simple application. They do have to submit some supporting documentation depending on, again, what they're asking for. The program does require a complete application package. So they would need the application and the proof of crime. So it would be like a police report, for example, or a criminal report affidavit, something from a law enforcement agency indicating that they are a victim of a crime. Then they would also need to provide any documentation for the benefits they're applying for. If it's a funeral benefit, they need the funeral bill. If it's medical treatment, then they would need to submit itemized medical bills. If it's lost wages, they would have to fill out what's called an employment report. If it's a disability benefit, sometimes they need a treatment statement from your medical provider to establish that there was a disability as a result of the crime and what degree of disability. So some benefits require additional documentation. And then the application, the proof of crime, and the supporting documentation all get sent to the Attorney General's office for them to review and determine eligibility. So once an application is submitted to the Attorney General's office, whether that be by fax, email, mail, there's a bunch of different ways you can submit it, and you submit your proof of crime and supporting documentation, then the Attorney General's office will review it for eligibility. So once they've reviewed it and they determine eligibility, then they will start contacting the providers. And then they'll start issuing payments. So if it's a medical bill, they could pay the provider directly. If it's a receipt that you submitted, they may pay you directly. If it's relocation, they send a check to the certified center, and then the certified center arranges for you to come get it. So because the Attorney General's office is the one that makes the determination on what benefits someone's eligible for, we always encourage everyone to apply. We don't know what each victim or survivor's qualifications are going to be, if they're going to be qualified for the program or not, and we don't know what benefits they may or may not cover. So we usually encourage everyone to apply because it's, like I said, a fairly simple application, and it's better to apply, at least know, yes, they can cover it, no, they can't, than to not ask at all. I think that the most valuable thing that survivors need to know is that we in these social service professions get involved in these because we want to help other people. We all typically in this process and working with victims are in it for a particular reason. We have a passion for it, we have an interest for it, we've been victimized ourselves, whatever the case may be. We want people to know that there are resources out there and that there is help out there. Surviving a victimization is not an easy feat. And sometimes you need support and you need help with it and you need guidance. Not a lot of people have been familiar with how the process works, how victimizations work, what you're gonna need, what you're not gonna need, and they need somebody that can help them steer them in the right direction. So I want people to feel comfortable coming to us for help because there are resources out there. And I think we should make sure that people are aware of those and help them through this process and instill kind of hope that there is a way to get past this victimization, that they can get past it.